In the pitch dark on this dusty road along the U.S.-Mexico border, it is another busy night. Authorities overwhelmed. They say they've never seen anything like it. Families and children. Many traveling all alone. They are in search of one thing, asylum, like 15-year-old Jeffrey. We met him just moments after he crossed the Rio Grande. It's taken him more than 2 months to get here from Honduras. As for what happens next, he tells me only God knows. Nearby, an entire family. They tell me they had to leave Honduras in order to stay alive, pointing to the country's increasing gang violence and the recent hurricane that left many without a home.
There's nothing there, no work. La pandemia, la delincuencia, las inundaciones.
Just minutes later, right up the road, another group, this one even bigger.
They're hungry, they're very tired, they say. And these little boys are traveling by themselves.
We met 9-year-old Justin and 10-year-old Joseph, little boys who traveled all the way from Honduras. They have no family with them. The group they're with, strangers, took them in along the way. They show me their lifelines, phone numbers of family members here in the U.S., relatives they hope to call and be reunited with soon.
He's going to show me a phone number.
The numbers on that hat still there.
Este es el número de tu abuelo, ¿verdad? This is his grandfather's phone number. Se llama Marco. Sí.
But Joseph's phone number, written in marker inside his pant pocket, already starting to fade.
¿Y de este número de quién es? ¿De un tío? ¿De tu tía? This is his aunt's phone number and his mom's phone number. ¿Aquí tienes familiares en los Estados Unidos? Sí, ¿en dónde? ¿En dónde? In Maryland.
Next to them, two brothers, 20 and 13. I ask why they've decided to come now, and their answer strikes at the very heart of this disaster, threatening to derail President Biden's young and very carefully planned agenda.
¿Piensan que sería más fácil cruzar ahorita con el nuevo presidente que el presidente Trump o no?
Posiblemente.
Posiblemente. ¿Qué saben de este?
Pues se han escuchado rumores de que ayuda a los migrantes.
Last month, more than 100,000 migrants were stopped along the southwest border. And right now, there are more than 16,000 unaccompanied minors in federal custody. Today, the administration did allow one camera inside this facility in Carrizo Springs, Texas. The journalist was told not to speak with any of the 766 teenage boys. They're seen playing soccer. Here's a classroom. The sleeping quarters, 4 to a room. But this facility has never reached its 952-person capacity. And what the world saw today is a stark contrast to the overcrowded tent-like facilities like this one in Donna, Texas. Customs and Border Protection releasing this video showing children packed into pods, one housing more than 400 boys. There are only supposed to be 250 people inside this entire facility. The White House says they're working as quickly as possible to move these kids into shelters and homes. But critics say they moved so quickly to overturn former President Trump's hardline immigration policies that they did not have a plan in place on the ground to handle the surge that followed. Criticism growing louder by the day.
It is a crisis. It is a crisis that was created by the Biden administration, by their own policies.
Not just from Republicans, but also from Democrats.
We're having a humanitarian crisis. The administration has all the good intentions. They want to treat the kids in a humane way. But in trying to do this, their good intentions are being overwhelmed by numbers.
The White House has called in FEMA. They're building new facilities. The Pentagon even looking into the possibility of housing kids on military bases in Texas. And yet the families and children just keep coming across the border. The migrants, if they made it across the river, they often end up in a place like this. They're completely confused. Sometimes they don't even know if they're on the U.S. side of the border or they're still in Mexico. If they're lucky enough, they find a sign like this. This is left here by the Border Patrol, Asilo. This is directing them to asylum, telling them where to get to safety. Deputies Joan Moreno and Arnold Salazar patrol this stretch of the border. The Border Patrol so inundated, local authorities are now helping.
We can go further down.
Yeah.
The deputies bring me to an area called El Rincón, the corner. It's a popular landing spot right along the Rio Grande.
So they've literally just come out of the river here.
Mm-hmm.
In your career, have you ever seen as many people as you're seeing right now?
No.
And you've done this for how many years now?
17 years.
17 years, the most people you've ever seen?
Yes.
Most children, most families?
Yes.
Is there anything that's going to stop this?
I hope there is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they have to do, but it needs to stop. There's got to be a better way for a better process, but this is not it.
All over these paths, pieces of their stories.
It's a baby
carrier.
Baby carrier.
But we've seen mothers carrying their kids, you know, sometimes they're very dirty. We provide them water. We have to give them wipes, whatever they need. I mean, stuff that I have at home, I just bring it with me.
You bring that stuff on the job with you right now?
Yes, we have to.
Do they think it's easier to cross with a new president? Are you hearing that?
What I hear is they're saying that they thought it was going to be easier, but it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The reasons that people choose to leave their home country really have nothing to do with what our policies are in the United States.
Teresa Cardinal Brown of the Bipartisan Policy Center says that while there are limits to how rhetoric affects migration, the Biden administration's overall tone on asylum is providing encouragement to many immigrants hoping to make their way to the United States.
President Trump spoke about immigration at the border as a threat, of migrants as an invasion.
Can you imagine those caravans without having the barriers and walls that we've already put up?
And focused his policy almost exclusively on how to deter migrants from coming at all. The Biden administration, and this actually goes back to Joe Biden during the campaign, essentially ran on being the antithesis of that.
If I'm elected president, we're going to immediately end Trump's assault on the dignity of immigrant communities. We're going to restore our moral standing in the world and our historic role as a safe haven for refugees and asylum seekers.
Facing growing pressure, today President Biden said Vice President Kamala Harris will be in charge of stemming the flow of migration from Central America, hoping to send a message that he's trying to address the root causes of why people are leaving their homes in the first place. But so many, like 32-year-old Luis Pineda, are still coming. They say they have no choice. The single father, 12 days into his journey from Honduras, his 3-year-old son Marlon right there with him.
Hola, señor.
They met my colleague Marcus Moore in southern Mexico while walking on the shoulder of a narrow 2-lane highway.
Vamos buscando el sueño americano. Sí, así es, porque la crisis en nuestro país está totalmente, es una catástrofe.
This father's wish for his son, what every parent wants.
En primer lugar, mi sueño para mis hijos es tal vez lo que yo nunca he tenido, darles lo mejor, un estudio, que salgan adelante, que sean alguien profesionales, alguien que se puedan defender ellos, sí, y pues que sean alguien en el futuro.
As for those who already made it across the border, like Justin and Joseph,
¿Tienen miedo?
I ask, are you scared? Yes, they tell me, they are scared. Tonight they are in Border Patrol custody. We called Justin's grandfather, whose phone number was on that pink hat. He says he's still waiting to hear from authorities on Justin's status.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.